Hey John, how are you doing, man?
Hey, Fotis, how's life?
Good, man, good. I was just trying to calm down my cats because for some reason, they started jumping around like unexpectedly. And I'm like, are you guys really gonna do this to me now that I
Gonna
have this
fuck up my
interview?
interview.
Yeah.
Did you move to do a new apartment?
Oh, yeah. And it's lovely. It's lovely. Yeah, I
Awesome.
really
Bigger
dig it.
place?
Bigger place. The previous place actually had a magical ability, John. It actually worsened extreme temperatures. So during summer, it was extra hot, and during
Yeah.
winter, it was extra cold. It has like a zero thermal insulation. Yeah, it was a disaster. But yeah,
I've lived in houses like that before, yeah.
they suck, right? Yeah, they suck.
How many cats do you have now?
4.75. That's a running joke because one of them we had to amputate his arm. So
Oh, okay.
I don't consider him like a full cat. Yeah, that's a joke. Yeah.
There's room for a quarter of a cat more in
Yeah,
this house.
exactly.
Okay. That's nice, man.
Yeah. How have you been?
I've been good. When did we last
Nice.
speak? You interviewed me a few months ago for your podcast, right?
Yeah, yeah. Was a few, yeah, man.
What's going on
Long
these
time.
days? How's business, as our friend Matthew likes to
Yeah.
say?
Not looking to sell you anything, man. Just
No,
curious to
no,
see. No,
definitely
yeah.
not.
It's really good. I mean, I think I was talking to Matthew about this, but especially after December, or
Hmm.
maybe like after December, yeah, especially business has been very good because I started working with an acquisition company that they have a bunch of brands in the e-com space,
Hmm.
and they do direct response, but man, I mean the products are good, which is like a very nice change of pace, especially if you've been in the bizop, especially if you've been like in the alternative health space. So yeah, I mean they have like some great products, very good company culture. So yeah, I'm doing like a full-time gig with them.
Hmm.
And during the evenings, yeah, I do a little bit of consulting and other like a types of writing for another client. So yeah, pretty busy, but good busy. So not that stressed. Okay, of course, I mean, as a copywriter, you're gonna have like a various stressors, but overall, very good, very good. Yeah, yeah, it's been. I think I wasted like either not I wasted, but it took me like around a year to reach that point where I am okay. I have good clients, income stability, enjoying the brands, and I have some room to breathe and actually think, okay, what's gonna happen in the next 6 or 12 months. So overall, yeah, pretty awesome.
Awesome. So you said the company you're working with, they're an acquisition company. So that's a company who's going out and buying up other businesses. Is that right?
Yeah, exactly. They have two of the businesses are their own, so they started in themselves. But the two others, yeah, I mean, I think they bought them or they came up to they decided on some type of deal. So I'm not sure exactly what the details are, but yeah, that's pretty much it.
And you said they're e-com businesses, but using direct response. And I think that can be sort of hard for people to wrap their head around. I've seen a few companies like this where like the typical e-commerce model is the Shopify store model. You have
Hmm.
a storefront, you're typically running ads direct to specific products for promos, or
Yeah.
sometimes even just to the homepage if it's retargeting.
Hmm.
And really, you've got like product detail pages, but there's not
Hmm.
a clear, like, kind of there's not a funnel.
Hmm.
Or at least there's not a very simple funnel. Whereas when there's a hybrid, there's almost an individual funnel for each product in the catalog. Is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it it depends on what brand I mean you're looking at. But for this company, I mean, just to give you an example, they have a knife company and around like a 20 knives, and they're
Mm-hmm.
constantly like a testing creatives. They're testing like a different sales pages. I'm not sure exactly if they have found like a one knife that's like a the clear winner and they focus like most of their energy and budget there, but they're
Mm-hmm.
constantly like testing different offers. Okay, get two, buy two, get two more for free and stuff like that. For the other brands, the ones I'm working with, one of them is like a company that has solutions that reduce radiation absorption, to give you like an idea. So essentially they have like different like products, but we're primarily promoting just one of them because that's like the clear winner. It's like the 80% of the income. So yeah, I mean, for them, it's very simple. We primarily sell like one thing on the front end, and then on the back end, yeah, we try to sell them more of the solution pretty
Mhm.
much. Yeah.
That sounds to me like stuff that's kind of in like prepper preparedness type of space. Is that right?
Not really. I mean, I would think so too, but no. It's more like people who just want to buy something to have like a peace of mind. I mean, most of our clients, they really like respond to angles that talk, oh, the dangers of radiation for your kids or your grandkids. So those are
Hmm.
like a very good angles. They're worried about the radiation coming from their smartphones, from the tablets, from the devices, and yeah, all these kind of things. So yeah, I mean, they invest in them. So yeah, that's where most of like our clients come from.
Yeah, I was kind of unaware of this stuff, and maybe I'm just, I keep seeing this ad lately for a product, and it's a direct response, but it's an ecom product. It's a
Hmm.
product for when like somebody chokes to get the thing that they're choking on out of their throat, like to
Oh,
clear the
nice.
airway, a vacuum.
Hmm.
Have you ever seen
Hmm.
those ads? It's like
I
a
think, yeah.
like he's like a
Yeah.
12-year-old boy walks into the kitchen and he's like pointing at his neck, and his dad is
Hmm.
trying to help him, and his dad I
Hmm.
think has the device, and it's
Mm.
like it's real footage that got sent in by a customer of the product, because the dad actually like basically saves his kid's life there.
Nice.
But man, it's powerful shit. Like I've watched it once and I can't watch it again. Every time I see it again, I have to skip
Yeah.
the ad, because like it's like, and it's you'd think that's the kind of thing that where to be a small kid, but this kid's about 12, 13, and the dad actually like uses the device to save the kid's life, and there's a bit of a blurb about how he did it. Like that
Yeah.
is really, really powerful stuff for a product like that that would typically be sold out of some boring catalog where it doesn't
Of
really tell the
course.
story of why you need it.
Yeah, I mean, stories like you always sell. That's like amazing. And it's funny that you mentioned like he's like a 12, it was like a 12-year-old boy. I nearly choked like a last year after eating too much peanut butter. So I'm 34. And yeah, I could use it as well.
What, did you suddenly develop an allergy or just like eat a spoon so
Oh,
big that it got stuck?
I was having like a quasi binge eating episode, and I was like, oh, come here. So yeah, yeah, it was funny. Yeah. Nearly choked to death from peanut butter. Yeah, that would make a good tabloid headline.
So where do you find stuff for the type of work you're doing these days? Like where do you go and find the stories that you can use to tell about the products?
Oh, John, it's like I mean you have like this expression aggressively basic. It's
Hmm.
like yeah, I call it unorgasmically basic. So
Okay.
most okay, the I mean our best angles are like I mean I'm just gonna spill the beans here. The minute I started working with both of those brands, I sent like a very simple email with subject line, "We need your help." And it basically asked people, "Hey, what questions do you have about the product or the technology?" Okay,
Hmm.
let us know and then we'll answer them. So I sent the email. Funnily enough, in the PS, I said like people often ask us, okay, what solutions do we suggest for them? Here's like we often suggest this product, and we had like a ton of people buy out of this like a very basic, very boring email.
Hmm.
But what happened next was like the most interesting thing of all is that people started like asking us a bunch of questions. So basically, what I did is that I looked for trends, and I saw that two of the most common questions people asked were A, how do I know it works? And B, I have an EMF reader. I bought your product, and I didn't see any difference. So does this work or is this a scam? And I just wrote like a very simple emails. Of course, we also have a head researcher who knows his stuff. So okay, I got like a lot of material from him. I mean, I tried to simplify things as much as possible. And the two emails I wrote, yeah, I mean, they totally crushed it. Like I mean, if you're like in the direct response space, you would probably like try to find like some of those like a crazy angles, like I don't know, someone died from radiation or whatever. But yeah, I mean, those basic angles, yeah, I mean, they just tapped into questions people had. And yeah, I mean, they work like amazingly. And to just answer your question, okay, where do I find ideas? I just look at the customer support desk.
Hmm.
People send us like a questions almost every day, and I have like a so much material that even though I made a very good Q1 email plan, I haven't even used like a half of those angles because I'm listening to the market. I tap into their questions and their issues, their challenges, and they're rewarding us. So yeah, that's the secret, John. Listen to your market.
Yeah, it's so simple. It's funny the way customer, I mean, I know why in direct response it's always this way, but like customer support and marketing are often siloed away from each other. And I think
Yeah,
in a lot of direct response businesses, because there's things that maybe the business owner doesn't necessarily want to face that's going
exactly,
on.
exactly.
Not always,
Yeah,
but sometimes it's like that.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and yeah, you learn so much about people from reading the customer support emails, and that can be great, and it can also be kind of heartbreaking at times, and
exactly.
sometimes it can be very emotionally heavy depending on the subject matter you're dealing with, because
Hmm.
people have some wild fucking stories out there, and people have got a lot of heavy shit going on in their lives.
Hmm. Yeah, you learn a lot of things. People really share whatever is happening in their lives. To be fair, the brands. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they attract a problem people with tons of problems.
Mhm.
So, I mean, our complaints are gonna be something basic as, oh, I saw an ad you had with Joe Rogan with George, what's his name? This presidential candidate, the Kennedy fellow, Robert
Robert
Jr.
Kennedy
Kennedy.
Jr.,
Yeah,
is it?
Robert Kennedy. Yeah, and I'm worried that this is a scam. But that's the worst thing I have seen so far. And it's like, yeah, it's good. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I've just been shocked sometimes where people like customer support emails where people pouring out like to some random customer service agent who they have no
Yeah,
idea who it is. They're pouring out their heart with all kinds of crazy stories that they probably don't tell their friends. They probably don't, their neighbors don't know about them. And this kind of
yeah.
stuff, like it's wild, you know. If people feel there's a bit of anonymity, they'll share a lot of heavy, like important stuff that they're not going to talk about in other settings.
Exactly. It's why websites like Reddit are so good for market research because people okay they're oh, I can write anonymously there. So yeah, I mean you always find some really good deep emotional stuff on Reddit, especially if you are and this is a weight loss or anything that has to do. I've done a little bit of work with dating. Yeah, I mean, you always find some stories that make you go, man, I'm not sure if this is a real or not, but hot damn, the amount of detail and depth when it comes, especially to the problems that people have. Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, I do, like, I think like a lot of copywriters return to Reddit again and again,
Hmm.
just
Yeah.
where I'm stuck with something or I can't get an idea. Like there's always somebody's story on there that
Mm.
it's like, okay, I can write about this. You know, I can turn this into an email. I can turn
Of
this
course,
into a
yeah,
landing
it's very
page.
easy. It's very easy. It's very easy. Yeah, but I mean, I didn't need to actually go to Reddit because again, just look at the customer support. And it's kind of funny because I think a lot of female copywriters, yeah, they don't even think about this. And it's like, how come you guys not do this? Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's because I didn't start off as a copywriter initially. I had the fitness business and then I found out copywriting and marketing and I needed a help to grow my own business. And I
Hmm.
mean, for me, the biggest needle mover was email marketing. I was writing 1 or 2 emails a day for years, probably, especially in my Greek fitness business. And yeah, I mean, I would get a daily emails from people. I mean, they will always give me the next day's email because they will have a question, maybe they will have a complaint, maybe just a comment. So for me, it was a very normal. If the brands had told me, oh no, we cannot give you access to what people are replying in the emails, I'll be like, are you guys serious? You're kind of I don't know, that's really bad. So yeah, it was a very natural for me.
Hmm. Up to now, like you've been mostly working in the direct response. What niches were you primarily writing for?
In general,
Yes.
yeah, definitely Bizop.
Hmm.
One of my clients has a tons of offers. He's in the how to make money with affiliate marketing space more specifically. And yeah, he's been my longest running client. Lots of alternative health stuff, especially emails and maybe a few VSLs here and there. And yeah, primarily that. That's alternative health and BizOp. And of course, like a fitness for like in my own business.
Mhm.
But those are like in my main niches so far.
What do you enjoy writing for the most?
Mm, it's hard because I have like a certain criteria, but I mean, first of all, I want to write like for a brand that, has like a good product. Like I write like some emails for those white label alternative health, like they are businesses. And
Mhm.
I'm like, come on, man, I have to write about those things again. So it has been very therapeutic to actually write for brands that have like a products that I can be proud of. Like that, now that I'm talking to you, John, I mean, here on my laptop, I have one of those like a radiation reduction tips because I ask the guys who have this, like, can I get some? Because I'm like, dude, that's amazing. So it's really fun to write for products and services that you believe in. So far, I really enjoy the radiation brand that I mentioned. And I also like enjoy writing for the BizOp client because we have some very good offers. The guy has like a deep understanding of marketing. He's been around like for more than a decade. So it's good writing for someone who like on the back end, he actually cares about the client, his clients. He has like a lots of staff members ready to help anyone who has like an issue with anything. So it's good. It's good. So it's not like I have like a favorite niche, but yeah, I think like I'm more attracted to the quality of the business, not so much the niche itself.
Mhm. With business opportunity, I mean, I've worked in that space a lot, and
Hmm.
then it can be quite difficult to know.
Yeah,
It takes a bit of time before you figure out what's actually a good offer and what's bad.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and it's tricky because, and I've seen this with some of the people I'm working with. If you have an offer that's very genuine and you care about your customers, you still have to go out into the marketplace and attract new customers and new leads.
yeah.
And when you do that, you're going head to head with people who are making often unsustainable promises. So it's much harder for a good business to get traction
Of
compared to a
course.
business that's maybe a bit less scrupulous.
Hmm. Yeah, definitely. I think like a very good example of this is like uh they are a brother and sister from Ireland, I think. The guy's name is like a Stephen Sommers.
Oh
They
yeah,
have
no,
an
Steve.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you can tell that those guys like they love what they do. I mean, they love their clients. They're students of the game. Yeah. I mean, I've spoken with Steve a little bit like in private. They don't like promote like other people just for the sake of promoting and I rub your shoulder, you're gonna rub mine.
Hmm.
And I'm not sure if people know this, but especially in the BizOp space, in the JV circles, yeah, this type of stuff is like it happens a lot. So even like if there's like a decent business owner who has like a good offer, and I mean he respects his client base, they will often feel the need to actually promote a webinar or an offer of someone else just because they have like a good network of JVs and then they can promote them themselves. So yeah, I mean, this happens a lot, but from what I understand, like a Steven and his sister, yeah, they haven't done this. Like they only promote people who are like a decent and they have like a very high standards. And I'm like, man, that's great. That's a great duo to have like in the BizOp space.
Yeah, I know Steve a little, and I don't know his sister Lisa as well, but I
Hmm,
know Steve a little bit. And from what I can see, he's always looking at, if somebody comes and buys from me, how many times can I get them to come back? And he's
exactly.
like, the primary way of getting them to come back is actually giving them a good experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
He,
Yeah.
he has a pretty long term view on things. But like,
Exactly.
from what you've seen from your work in Biz Up, how can you get past that sort of challenge when you're trying to position an offer that's actually good and delivers on its promise against other offers that are maybe making unsustainable promises?
Hmm. I mean, it's going to depend because I don't have like experience on the front end. I have like what happens after someone like joins your world, either like if they become like a prospect because they download a lead magnet or they bought like a maybe a small a low ticket offer. Yeah, man, just like a just being consistent. I mean, for one. So, for example, I mean, my BizOp client, I mean, if you know him, you know that he hates Facebook or he hates anything that has to do like with organic. So we're never gonna like, for example, promote offers that talk about how to make like money on Facebook or
Mhm.
how to do organic traffic. And I think just being like consistent, yeah, this is gonna make people feel confident in you and think that, oh, you know what? He's not saying one thing today and then the next day he's changing his tune. No, I mean, he has like a set of rules of principles. And yeah, I think that people are gonna respect this. But yeah, I mean, other than that, definitely like if people email you, like when you send an email, yeah, answer the questions, tackle the questions in another email. Show them that you actually care. I mean, business is so simple. Like most people in the BizOp space, deep down inside them, they know they're not gonna become like a millionaires. They know they're not gonna, I don't know, maybe they know that they're not gonna make money out of like a business opportunity because it's not like they're gonna be first-time buyers. They would have bought like a multiple offers in the past, but they just want to be treated like with respect. They just want to show that okay, you care for them, and yeah, if you show that you actually care, yeah, I believe they will like open their wallets to you and actually buy. So yeah.
This is something that I saw quite recently, um, working on writing for some offers where
Mhm.
like the same people buy again and again and again.
Exactly.
You,
Yeah.
you can have a business that has like one or two basic front ends and then a bunch of back end products. And most of the back end products have only small amounts of differentiation between them. They're all mostly the
Mm.
same, but there
Yeah.
is going to be always a few customers who come in and will
Yeah.
buy everything, no matter what it is. They don't care. They just
Mhm.
love to buy. Have you seen this
Mhm.
phenomenon? And can what do you like? How do you explain this?
Oh, I think it just has to do like with biases. I mean, just to add on what I said previously, uh, another thing you have to keep in mind is that people who come into your world like expecting one thing and then yeah, I mean, if they expect like how to make money with affiliate marketing, guess what? They're gonna respond to offers that have to do with how to make money with affiliate marketing. If you actually start promoting like a different offer, how to make money with Facebook, marketing with Facebook or whatever, there's gonna be like some type of resistance. Another thing to keep in mind is that if you have like someone who came into your world from, I don't know, let's say a webinar, guess what? Those people are kind of programmed to buy from webinars. They're not going to buy from sales pages or like a VSLs. So those are things that you have to keep in mind, especially if you rely on one or two offers on your front end. Yeah, I mean, I think like the best way for you to make sure you have like a decent backend is to find like other offers that are as close to your original as possible. So if you are like an I don't know, an African American dude who was like a real estate investor in his past life or whatever, yeah, find other offers like from like African American dudes who were like a real estate investors like in the previous life or whatever. So try to make this like as similar as possible. And I think you will face like a less resistance. I mean, it's very simple. I mean, people, yeah, I mean, people are gonna buy again what they bought like in the past. So it's like there's like this joke with shoes. Okay, if you have bought like 20 pairs of shoes, guess what I'm gonna sell you? Like another pair of shoes. It's not like I'm gonna sell you like I don't know, a necklaces or something. I mean, you're buying behaviors so that okay, you like this stuff. So yeah, that's like a very simple for me.
Yeah, it's true. Um, so you're primarily an email marketer.
Yeah, I mean that's like all my focus nowadays for clients, and it's good. It took me a while to focus, but yeah, totally worth it.
Why did you make the decision that that was where you were going to place your focus?
I mean, it was like one of my first loves in the marketing space. I knew about copywriting and sales pages in general, like before email. But when my fitness business was struggling, and at the time I was writing like a tons of articles, I had like a few info products. I have written like a decent sales pages for my skill level at the time. I kept struggling. And I would get all the nice comments from people. Oh, dude, I loved your recent article. It was so cool. And I'm like, yeah, but you didn't buy, man. I mean, like, yeah, what's going on here? But then when I like was introduced to Ben Settle, and I mean, he's like a 90% of my like a of everything I've learned about email comes from him. I was like, okay, we're gonna just do emails his way. And I saw like a difference the first week in terms of income. I had more fun writing. So this is like also like a biggie. I mean, if you don't have like a fun doing something, yeah, maybe you're not gonna profit that much from it. And yeah, I mean, I really focused on email while I had like my fitness business. But the funny thing, John, is that when I decided to quit fitness back in the summer of 2022, I was like, okay, I mean, I'm open to doing anything. Okay. I mean, I can write sales pages, I can write advertorials, I can write like a Facebook ads, I can write emails. So I took like whatever came my way. But after struggling for a few months, I realized, hey, man, I mean, most of your opportunities are email. So yeah, why don't you start like a positioning yourself as an email copywriter who can
Mhm.
like a, I mean, you have like a thousands of reps already. So why make your life easier? Like, yeah, I mean, sales letters are cool and VSLs are cool, but yeah, why not do emails? Like, since you have like a, so much experience. So it was like a very natural transition and choice.
Yeah, I think the thing with emails and to maybe a slightly lesser extent, but similar with doing ads for people is that there's a difference between selling a toothbrush and selling toothpaste. Like people,
Yeah.
use them both every day, but they
Hmm.
replace the toothpaste every week and they replace the
Yeah.
toothbrush maybe once every few months.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I wouldn't, you know what? I mean, it wasn't like it just from a point of like a, what makes financial sense to me.
Mhm.
It just, I mean, it was like yeah, the other things that I said that I saw that there a lot of email marketers and copywriters gave. They said that oh we have like a lots of experience, but I was seeing them do things that I totally disagreed. So I was like, you know what? I mean, maybe there's like a place for a guy like me who have like his own way of doing things.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was like a little bit easier for me because I'm naturally like contrarian by nature. So I enjoy trolling people. I enjoy like calling people out. When I was like in fitness, I would debate like a doctors and nutritionists and cardiologists all the
Mhm.
time, especially with the research. So I'm like, man, okay, let's do this. I mean, it's I guess it's going to be fun. And yeah, it's definitely fun. And I'm really happy that I'm doing like what I'm doing with email specifically.
What are the things that you see people doing in email marketing most often that you think are actually not that effective, and what do you think is better?
They have okay, so my biggest like a thing with email is that you will see a lot of people saying that, oh, your emails need to be like a personality driven, or you need to have like a personality in your emails. But
Mhm.
most of the emails like written by people, especially in the high ticket space, they're so bland. Like okay, you could take the emails like from two different brands, and you would yeah, you couldn't probably tell the difference unless if they didn't talk about the offer and maybe I don't know one guy has a I don't know like okay how to start your coaching business offer and then another one has like an options trading business,
Mhm.
yeah, I mean they're gonna look like a very similar. So I really think that people don't have personality in their emails, and I think this is a big mistake because people buy from people. Okay, you can keep the emails are bland as possible, but I think people are gonna click with you more, they're connect with you more if they find out that, hey, you know what? I have an opinion about things. I don't know. I mean, I think that, for example, I can if you are fat, okay, that's bad for your health, and I'm gonna call you out like in my emails, even if it has nothing to do with high ticket offers or your industry. Just knowing that you have an opinion about things and you're not like afraid to express this opinion, yeah, I think that's huge. I think I have like this story where I tell about Andrew Tate, one of the
Mhm.
most hated men online. When I first like found Tate and his brother, I was like, okay, come on, dude, those guys are douchebags. Like, come on, who the hell do they think they are? And I remember watching an interview they did with Mike Cernovich, who is like an author, and Andrew said the first thing we did when we became rich was retire our mom. It's like, of course, like we're not gonna let our mom like clean toilets. And John, I mean, I did an 80-20 because I'm also like financially supporting my mom. I've done like this for years, and it just clicked with me. And I instantly, like, even though I hated those guys because, okay, I haven't like watched too much of their material and their content, I just had like a very surface level understanding about who they were. I mean, just this one thing about what they did about their moms, yeah, made me go, okay, oh, now, okay, I'm gonna give these guys a chance. And I think this is like important in also in all types of communication, email included. So if you did something nice, if you have like an opinion about how things should be, yeah, I think you should do this. And you will find that those affinity triggers, if you will, yeah, they're gonna make people connect with you way more. And yeah, they're gonna make like the selling process much easier.
Yeah, these things are, this is huge. It's good you said it. And actually, Andrew Tate is a good example because
Yeah.
I remember I've been aware of him like for several years,
Mm,
probably because he was kind of like, what's the word? He was like TV famous here
mm,
for years before he blew up online. So I'd sort of seen him around and kind of heard, oh, that guy, you know. And
yeah.
then suddenly, when did he really blow up? He really blew up during 2020, 21, right? Like he got
Mm,
huge. And
yeah.
like to see him go from being like some kind of minor internet celebrity to becoming like insanely globally famous was just
Yeah.
weird to see how quickly it happened.
Yeah. It was very fast.
Um, and there, like you say, there are certain things that, yeah, I'd find quite disagreeable about what he says and
Of
does.
course.
But at the same time, there are certain things that he says about like self-sufficiency, about sort of
Mm-hmm.
stoicism and your responsibility to actually like basically accept bullshit and keep moving, um,
Mm-hmm.
particularly for men, that I like
Mm-hmm.
can't disagree. You know, it's a good
Yeah, of
message.
course.
It's a
Yeah,
good
of course.
message. And
Yeah, of
like
course.
it can be very easy to get wrapped up in this idea of like, you know, people are either like they're in or they're out, this whole like kind of canceling thing of recent years. But
Yeah,
it's like, hey, even the people you like strongly disagree with about stuff may have some really wise shit to say, or
exactly.
even like mean, bad bastards can still have like they can still be nice to dogs, or they can still
Exactly. Yeah.
look after their mom really well, or something
Yeah.
like that, you know.
Totally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, because we're all like people at the end of the day, and especially like nowadays with the internet, it's very simple to see fragments of one guy's like personality, and those fragments might also be edited because of AI. So yeah, it's even more important to not hurry and not like not make your mind about someone like a fast. I mean, there was, I'm not sure if you actually saw this recent video with Russell Brunson where he's like a tapping this kid that was like over his son.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, the internet like it went crazy. But there were some guys who were like, dude, I mean, especially when it comes to the internet, I wait at least like 48 hours before I can express an opinion. And I'm like, man, that's so wise. Like, that's how you need to do things, especially online. Okay, don't hurry to follow the herd. I mean, don't just give it some time before you make your opinion about something.
yeah, that story about Russell Brunson, the video where he gets involved and actually jumps into the arena when his son was wrestling another guy because he didn't like how the match was going. I saw that and like people were really slating him, and I was like, look, I don't think it's right. I think it's wrong. But I also thought about my perspective of like I've been a real asshole sometimes at my son's football games and
Mhm.
getting into disagreements with people.
Yeah,
Like I don't think it's right, but I think if I was standing there, if I was in his
yeah,
position, I would have done the exact same stupid shit. Like, you know,
exactly.
I can't judge the guy because I know
Yeah,
I've got that idiot in me too, you know.
you're human. I mean, you're human. I mean, like when emotions go wild, yeah, man, it's not like, I mean, what do people expect? Like to sit down and do nothing? Like, come on, like
Come
no,
on,
it's
yeah.
very normal. Yeah,
It's
it's very
very
normal.
normal.
Yeah, I mean, it's
It's so easy to rush to judgment on people.
of course. Yeah, yeah, of
I
course.
even a similar story about another internet favorite, like you know President Trump. There was a
Yeah,
dude this week there's a clip of him at a party, and Trump is like you know slapping him on the back, like but kind of like old school man. He's like, "Hey, buddy," you know, like.
yeah,
But that guy, then some media sources took it and ran with the story like President Trump assaults a man at a party, and the guy just actually came out with a statement. He's like, "No, I just took a photo with the president, and he gave me a pat on the back to say hey and thanks for coming to the party." I
man.
don't know what
Yeah,
this is all about.
yeah, crazy, huh? Crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the media, especially nowadays, is always looking like for ways to get more attention. Yeah, I don't know. It's crazy.
I don't think people. not everybody realizes it. I think people more and more are starting to wake up to the fact that they can't really trust what they
Yeah.
hear and see in the news.
Mm,
But especially for like an older generation, like I'm in my 40s, but like my dad's generation, like pre-internet, the the media was pretty like there was a small number of organizations, they were
mm,
heavily regulated, and it wasn't that it was a slow-moving industry, but it was an innovative industry. But there wasn't this 24-hour news cycle.
mm.
So there
Yeah.
wasn't this constant need to constantly be like generating new content, and there wasn't the constant demand. And even pre-online, like the information was all one way through the TV and radio. There was
Hmm.
no interactivity. People weren't clicking to find what they wanted. But like that dynamic of people clicking where they want to go means there's so much incentive to look for the most outrageous shit possible to distribute
Yeah.
and promote. And
Yeah.
I think it's harder for older people to see that there's a fundamental shift in the
Mm.
dynamic of that space.
Mm, yeah. Another thing to add here is that I was like last year I was reading the biography of William Randolph Hearst,
Mm-hmm.
and he was like a very well-known publishing like a mogul in US. And one of the things that stood out to me was that when he was like building his newspapers, he told his reporters, I don't remember like how he called his team back then, but to always look for negative news. Okay, so try and always find, because he knew that okay, negativity sells. And when you realize that this is the foundation that okay, even modern media has been built on, you're like, eh, man, I mean, okay, I can like listen to the news, but they're not gonna tell me the full story. Okay, they're never gonna show like something positive or something nice happening, because they want me in a constant state of negativity, because this is what sells.
Mm-hmm.
So personally, I don't pay that much attention on the news. My mom is always like complaining. I mean, are you interested in what happens in the world? I'm like, no. I mean,
I
I'm like,
am
no.
interested, but I don't think I'm going to find it on the television, you know?
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I mean, most of my interests like have not. Yeah, I mean, not especially here in Greece. Like, there's no news about anything that I'm interested in. So it's like, yeah, why bother in the first place? But yeah, it's funny.
I mean, look, I found myself even like, I mean, maybe not everywhere, but particularly Twitter. I have to be careful with Twitter because it's so easy
Yeah,
to get sucked into. Like
exactly.
Twitter is built, it's like it's an outrage machine. So it's so
Yeah,
easy. Like they're just looking to push your hot button all the time.
exactly. They're the
And it's
best.
so easy to get like spiral into like all the stuff that pisses you off if you aren't super careful with how you use Twitter.
Yeah, and it's very easy to get stuck in an echo chamber where, okay, you find like you're always like hearing like the same opinions and the same stuff over and over again, and this really starts like yeah, changing how you perceive reality. I see this a lot, not on like a Twitter, but there's like a small segment in the men's dating space where we call it like the black pill. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, where
Mm-hmm.
there are like a guys there, it's like oh okay, I wasn't born in 6'5", like a white Chad with like a great muscle bellies, so I'm doomed to never have like a fulfilling dating life. And it's all like a bunch of guys who have, for whatever reason, they have failed in their dating lives, all talking about this thing. And if you get there, yeah, I mean, you're all, even if you're doing well, you're gonna find like a bullshit reason why you're not like a performing like a to the best of your abilities in the dating
Mm-hmm.
space, and you're gonna get sucked into the negativity. You're gonna think, oh man, there's no point in me like going to the gym. Oh, there's no point in me like yeah, I having like a low body fat levels. There's no point in me like talking to girls because they only want to sleep with like the hot guys, and it's really easy to get into your head. And if you don't actually like delete those threads, or if you don't like block access to them, yeah, I mean, I have seen a lot of guys like getting lost there, and it's like, come on, guys, like seriously, yeah,
Come on, yeah. There's a wide range of variability in both sexes about what they like and what they want from life
exactly,
and who they enjoy the company of. It is crazy. You talked about Ben Settle a few minutes ago.
yeah,
And I know like you talk about Ben quite a lot in the some of the groups we're in, like just
yeah,
in terms of examples and he's a great source of examples because the guy is so prolific.
exactly,
He's been
exactly,
like writing and publishing every day for 20 years or more or something like that.
yeah.
He's like crazy prolific. But like, what are the major principles you've taken away from him that you find yourself coming back to every day in your work?
Oh, just simple consistency, man. Like being consistent, like it's gonna do miracles for you. And it doesn't have to be like a consistency with emails. Like for example, back in summer, John, after watching like your very short course on YouTube about how to network on Facebook and what type of posts to write and stuff like
Mhm.
that, I was like, okay, man. It was also a combination with a training that Ed Ray did about Facebook where it was very funny. He was like, I know copywriters who make a lot of money, but they're not like a very good writers, but they're like a cool people on social media. And I was like, okay, F this shit, you know what? I'm gonna start like being more consistent with Facebook. And for the next like a 6 months, I was there like a daily posting, like chatting with people. I didn't have like an idea about like exactly what I was doing. I was just like a posting. I was like a writing about things that I thought people would find interesting. And before I knew it, I had like a network of people who were referring work to me. People were like, "Hey, I want to partner with you." Out of nowhere, out of like a posting like a once on Facebook. Some of my posts were posts about my cats, nothing like a very serious, and it worked just because I was consistent for 6 months in a row. So yeah, man, Ben is very big on like raw, unpolished objects that nobody finds like a interesting, and yeah, consistency is like a very big one. So yeah, definitely. The other thing is like what I mentioned in the beginning, like just listen to your market or your list. I mean, Ben is a good example of this. My fitness business was a good example of this. The companies that I work with are a good example of this. Just listen to what people are saying. Like, there's no need for you to go to forums, especially if you have like an audience. Like, don't go to forums. Don't look what other guys are doing. You can find like all the answers about what I'm gonna write next, what objections to handle, what proof points are important for my market, what offers to run. If you just like listen to your market, or even better, your list, because they're gonna be like a more responsive to you. So yeah, I have lots of lessons from Ben, but yeah, I mean, I think those are like two of the most important ones that I can back and back again all over again.
Yeah, it's the interesting thing you said about like what Ed Ray said about people that sometimes just likability will get you further than
Yeah.
than
Yeah, that
capability.
skills. Yeah, it's sad. It's sad.
But it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
look, people have to work with you every day, and if
Mm,
you're somebody who's really good at your work but hard to get along with, well,
yeah.
people will tolerate for a while. But if they can find a way to not work with you, if you don't make them feel good,
Yeah.
um, they will want to distance themselves at the first possible opportunity. And
Exactly.
like, yeah, I think I mean I think there was a Woody Allen joke that Paris Hilton stole, where she talked about like 90% of success is just showing up.
Yeah, it's Woody Allen. Yeah, definitely.
But I like it. That seems really dumb, but it's kind of, when you talk about it like that, it is kind of true. It's like online just showing up is basically being visible, engaging in
Exactly.
conversation with other people's and people knowing that you exist. Whereas it can be so easy to get stuck as like an isolated mole in a hole, and everyone just, it's such a chaotic and busy and noisy space that unless you actually get out there and broadcast yourself regularly, the world kind of quickly forgets about you, and
Exactly.
just a fact
Yeah.
of life.
Yeah, yeah. And another point on this, John, is that uh when I was starting this like a 6 month like a journey to just like a write daily, uh I had like, I mean, if you had told me like back then that, oh, you're gonna be working with like those people, or you're gonna have opportunities with those people, I would be like, really? I mean, I don't see this. And that's the cool thing with consistency. I mean, you're gonna find like opportunities coming out of nowhere, from the places you least expected, but they're going to be good opportunities. I mean, that was like a very surprising to me. I mean, not in 1,000 years would I have guessed that, oh, I would be working with those companies that I work now, when I started like back in summer to post consistently. So yeah, that was like another important thing to me.
Mm-hmm. You live in Greece, right?
Yeah,
Is there,
unfortunately.
well, don't say it. I love Greece. It's one of the most beautiful places in the
Oh,
world.
I'm always teasing my country. It's like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah.
Oh, I guess I do the same. Like, I mean,
Yeah,
Ireland is like, what do I love about Ireland? The people are like good. People are mostly really nice here, and
that's nice. Yeah.
and um, they're like, people are honest and helpful, and they're quite funny. Um, and it's really beautiful, and it's still pretty clean as a country. Like, it's not like heavily polluted and things like
That's
that. It's
nice.
like, it's nice and green, lots of beautiful nature
Hmm.
areas. Um, what I don't like, well, there's no point about talking what I don't like, but like, everyone like can easily feel pissed off with the place they live, but then you have to take an
Of
account
course.
of the
Yeah.
good stuff too. But I
Of course.
love, I haven't been to Greece in a long time, like way too long. And my wife has never been, and she keeps like, when are we going to Santorini? When are
Oh,
we
nice.
going to
Nice.
Santorini?
Oh, she wants to go to Santorini. Yeah, she's
Of
gonna
course she
love it there.
does.
Yeah, yeah. I was expecting me to tell, yeah, to say like Mykonos, but yeah, okay. Santorini is good as well.
Mykonos, I mean, I think the time for that is maybe a little bit past for me. It's a little bit
Yeah.
hedonistic there, right? It's like wild 24-hour party life
Oh, yeah,
there.
yeah. I have only been like once there when I was like in high school. Like, yeah, it's definitely not my vibe. Yeah.
Okay. Are you in Athens? You're a city guy.
Yeah, I'm a city guy. Yeah, I'm in the center. Yeah, I mean, pretty close to the center. I live in a small suburb that's like very cool. Yeah, I mean, and listen, I mean, I lovingly say that Greece is a fourth world country and we have like so many problems, etc. But yeah, I mean, people are good here. Like, yeah, I mean, we don't have like a war, especially when you compare like it to other places. It's just that the overall like a mindset of people, especially when it comes like to business, and of course, like the opportunities that you have here, they are like a non-existent. They're non-existent.
Mhm.
So yeah, when I tell people that I work like I'm in the marketing space, and I mean, they try to like guess how much I make. I'm like not even close. So yeah, you can tell that we don't. I mean, we don't make a lot of money here. Things are like very expensive, especially if you're like on your own. But yeah, I mean, other than the economy, yeah, I mean, Greece is good. Greece is good. Like, I really like it here. I really like it here.
I'm really looking forward to visiting you again, man. Actually,
Hmm.
a friend of mine who's from the US and where I work with, his wife thinks she's like the American raised daughter of Greek parents. So they go back to Greece every summer and they
Hmm.
absolutely love it as well. It is
Yeah.
such a beautiful country. I gotta
Yeah, I
get
mean,
back.
everyone loves like visiting and like staying here. It's another thing. I'm not sure if you're familiar with Tony Kasandrinos. He's like a
The olive oil
well-known.
guy, yeah.
Yeah,
He's a
yeah. I
US
mean,
Marine, right? Or former US Marine, set up an
I
olive oil
think, yeah, I
company.
think, yeah. We were chatting like when I made like a post about like having no networking events here in Greece, and he was like, "Look, I mean, Greece is great for vacations, but that's it. Like, especially if you're like in business, yeah, everything is gonna become like a 5 to 10x harder. And I'm kind of like a seeing this now that like I have like a steady income and I'm looking okay, how can I grow my income and attract more opportunities? Yeah, I mean, it's not gonna happen in Greece. It's not gonna happen in Greece. Yeah.
Okay, so do you see yourself moving abroad or traveling to actually build up your career further?
Uh, Not really, but I would travel because I want to travel and I have like a friends in various parts of the world that I would like to finally see. They're like a internet friends. I've never met them like up close. But for my business, not really, John, because uh I was like after like working with clients like for almost like a 18 months now, full time, I realized that you know what, I'm kind of missing doing having my own thing because I started off as a business owner, okay? So I like creating things, I like writing having my own offers. So I'm definitely seeing myself like making like a shift and launching an offer this year, running it like into cold traffic, trying to build the list, and going from there. So just so that I can have like a creative outlet, something that I can do just for myself without having like a client to review it or okay it or whatever. Yeah, it's something that I've missed, and I really wanna start doing it again.
Love it. Look forward to see what that is. If it's something
Yeah.
you, I can't keep secret. I know it's important to be a little bit secretive when you're trying to launch a new offer because
Yeah,
that's
you're worried everyone is gonna copy it.
it's the nature of the industry that as soon as
Yeah,
something starts to work well, everybody wants to do
yeah, it is.
it.
Yeah, it is. I don't
Fotis,
blame the guys. Yeah.
where is the best place for people to find out more about you or to connect with you?
You can find me on Facebook at Fotis Chatz, Chatz. I'm not active these days. I think I'm gonna start being active like maybe next month or whatever, or maybe
Hmm.
not. Or you can also take a look at my website, calmandprofitable.com. Again, not very active, but yeah, if I'm gonna start being more active, I'm gonna also be start posting like articles there as well.
Awesome. Thank you for coming today. Any final thoughts before I stop the recording?
Uh, Not really. It was like really nice talking with you, John. And I always like the way like you structure the interviews. They're like so natural. I was like, ugh, man. I mean, I'm feeling a little bit tired. I'm gonna sound normal. How will my English be? I'm gonna sound like an idiot or whatever. But it was like a so relaxed and so fun. So yeah, thank you for making this like a very low stress opportunity for me here.
Yeah, I never plan these interviews. I never plan the questions. I
Yeah.
just get on, say hello, and I have a notepad in front of me always when I someone
Hmm.
interview. If somebody says something interesting, I write it down, and that's my next question after they finish talking.
Yeah. So simple. Yeah.
Aggressively basic. That's my way of
Exactly,
approaching
baby. Yeah,
things.
exactly.
Okay, thank you so much, Fotis. I'm going to stop the
Thanks,
recording
John.
now.
Take care. Yeah.